Get set for the dramatic season-long race for the FedEx Cup, presented by 2K Sports and the PGA Tour. It's time to see who will be crowned champion here at the Daybreak Classic. Hello everyone, thrilled to have your company this week. I'm Luke Elvey, alongside Rich Beam in the booth, and we've got Henny Koyak and John McCarthy following the action out on the course. The crowd is up for it this week, I can tell you that. Glad to have you with us as we kick off the next event right here on 2K Sports. Let's catch up with play down on the opening hole. And as we turn our attention to our featured player this week, it's impossible to ignore the rivalry that's happening with Will Zalatoris.
Luke, I just don't understand why you'd want to start a rivalry with Will Zalatoris. This featured player must be brimming over with confidence.
Thanks, Henny. That's interesting stuff. I'll be interested to see if our featured player does indeed do well against Willie Z. Oh, look at this. Right down the throat. Oh, that's a great approach shot. Henny, take us through the break on this putt.
So, straight for the most part, with a little bit of left at the end.
That was a sensational approach, Rich, but you've got to feel like an opportunity was lost.
Boy, what could have been with that putt? Luke could have taken the lead. Not to be.
Looks like this one's heading safely for the fairway. Time for the second shot here on the second hole. Yeah, nicely played. 15 feet to the cup.
A great birdie chance here.
Ooh. And just a little bit of clean-up work remaining on this hole. He finds himself with a share of second place. The third, Rich, is a par 4, but it's a short one.
It is. Driver not always required by the players here, so anything finding the fairway will leave a second shot of, shortish length to a green that tilts from back to front and again has slopes that run in all different directions away from this green.
That's well played. Anything on the green from there was fine. And he's down there. You got a read?
You gotta love a downhill left-righter.
That's a nice looking putt. Judged it well. Got a short one coming up.
Not a bad effort right there from long range. Big breaking putt. He just didn't quite read it right, but it'll be an easy par.
And that par ensures he'll stay right there at even par. The fourth hole is a par 4 with an elevated tee shot.
Your tee shot through a little bit of shoot there. Fairway cambers from left to right. Next shot, straight back up the hill. You got a little bit of room out to the right-hand side that you can use to bank your golf ball off of and get it back on the green. This is a daunting prospect of a hole.
That's disappointing.
Looking for the draw, but not finding it.
Why don't we catch up with Will Zalatoris?
Yeah, he just made bogey on that last one.
Let's catch up with Will Zalatoris. Just 3 back from the leader. Oh, I thought that one was going in. Okay, let's get back to it, shall we? A par putt awaits. And in it goes. The leader now has a 1-stroke advantage. Pinehurst #2, originally designed by the legendary architect Donald Ross and restored recently by Core Crenshaw. And the 5th hole is a real feature, isn't it?
They've done an immaculate job here. Tee shot runs parallel in the opposite direction to the 4th. Fairway does camber from right to left, so a draw more than likely with your second shot, but you don't want to miss this green to the left. There is a massive run out, and that golf ball will keep going and going and going until it's gone.
Will Zalatoris is someone that everyone attached themselves to very quickly. He made that explosive start to his professional career. He's already ridden some serious back injury issues, but he shows a lot of heart and character, doesn't he? Because he's fought back very quickly.
He has. He's one of those players that he's silly talented, isn't he? The ball striking is absolutely amazing. You know, we've talked a little bit about his putting a little bit, but he gets past all of that, doesn't he? He just gets the job done time and time again. And I think that's what's going to be his legacy, is that he's out there. He's going to be a grinder. He's not going to go anywhere. You know, when you go head to head, you're going to have your hands full. He's just one of these all around really.
That's outstanding. Mark that down on the highlight reel. Let's get back to it, shall we? This here for a share of 2nd on the leaderboard. And the putt goes down. A nice display of resilience in the end.
That's what I'm talking about. Nicely done. Up and down for the birdie out of the bunker.
Pretty sure that one's headed left. This would be a great up and down. Okay, step 1 complete, out of the bunker. Now let's go make a putt. John, what's the line on this putt?
This one's going pretty hard to the right.
Putting for a bogey. Just 2 shots back after that hole. As you begin the 7th hole, a par 4, angles are of the premium.
Yes, dog leg from left to right. The longer the hitter, the more of that dog leg they will cut off, reducing the hole in size, which will be helpful because you get to go into this raised green with such a short iron.
That's some good golf right there. Playing this shot from around 120 yards. 2 strokes off the lead.
This needs to go a little bit right once it lands.
Not a bad shot, that. Still a chance. Henny, what's he facing with this putt?
Setting up this putt 16 feet from the cup.
Yeah, you like the look of that right off the blade. To the top 5 he goes. The 8th hole at Pinehurst #2 works his way back up the hill.
Only the longest hitters are going to be able to find this green in 2, but if they want to keep it on this green, they're going to need a little bit of luck here because this green, no bunkers surrounding it, but there are very few flat spots around it. If you want to make birdie, you better have a keen short game.
Didn't quite have the right stuff there. Now let's switch our attention to Will Zalatoris.
The rival is ahead of him. He needs to get something together here.
Is this one going to go down? And back to the play, shall we? This would be a great up and down from this spot. How close was that to going down? He has this putt to save his par. So, no movement on the leaderboard there, remaining at even overall. The 9th hole at Pinehurst number 2 continues to feature a green that has so much going on, whether it's crowned or domed, but there's a lot of slope.
And there's a lot of slopes running into some bad spots, isn't there, Luke? Front, you're going back into the bunker. Long, you're going into a bunker. Try and hit it out to the right-hand side into a little flat, safe zone. Take your 2 putts and go on from there.
This for a share of the lead. Well, Rich, this is a great position to be in. Tied in top spot as we head into the back 9.
I tell you, sneaky good. Kind of come out of nowhere, but all of a sudden finds himself in the lead. Let's see if they can keep it up.
The back 9 at Pinehurst number 2 starts with a par 5.
Straightaway par 5, Luke. Most players not able to reach in 2. Second shot, you must lay up to a really good number where you can maximize spin with your wedges in order to control the spin for your third and hopefully get it close and make a birdie.
Well, there he is, Wake Forest Will Zalatoris, Rich. He's done the job, and he continues to do it out here on tour, doesn't he?
He does. He's just one of these players that is just a ferocious competitor, isn't he? Ball striking is amazing. The putting sometimes works with him and works, but you know what? He gets the job done. And so you can't emphasize that enough. You know, it may not be pretty at times, but who cares? He's getting the job done. And you know when you go head-to-head against him, you've got your hands full because he's not backing down from anybody, any challenge, any championship. The guy's a winner.
Well, that certainly makes putting a lot easier when you can hit a shot like that.
That would be back-to-back birdies for this player.
Here's Will Zalatoris. Could it be? A chance to move to a couple under the card with this putt. Penny, take us through the break on this putt.
This looks like it's going to go left.
Surely it's going to.
Gets that one to go down, and that's back-to-back birdies.
Back-to-back birdies, moving the right direction there, Luke.
And that'll see him remain in the same spot on the leaderboard. On the 12th tee, the par 4. Again, it's not length, it's accuracy.
Most definitely. Fairway does pinch in there just a little bit, so players are going to have to decide whether to take driver or just a fairway metal. Second shot, again, to a green that is raised up above you, floats away on all sides of it, but this is a more realistic birdie opportunity.
And yeah, I don't think that's enough from the rough.
Wow, what happened there?
Now, coming out of the rough, missing the green was always in the cards.
Well, that's a golf shot. He'll be happy with that one. And a par putt awaits him. That's disappointing. In she goes. Let's head to the next. He's currently tied for second.
Moving down the leaderboard, Luke, never a good thing.
The 12th hole, Rich, stop me if you heard this, the par 4 that ends up with a crowned or domed green.
That's exactly what Pinehurst gives you every single hole, it seems like. A decision must be made off the tee. However, take the driver and hit it past an area or lay it back. However, the second shot is a little bit kinder green, it must be said. Birdie is actually an opportunity.
A bit wild on approach there. All right, facing a little up and down here to save the par. Ooh, that almost went down. Good chance this one, right on 6 feet.
He's got this for his par.
So no change on the leaderboard for this player after that hole. The 13th hole here at Pinehurst, number 2, Rich. Just another one of these beaut par 4s.
Another one of these par 4s where you got to find the fairway somehow, hit a fiddly little cut with a 3-wood or a driver. Again, second shot back up the hill to a green that is domed shape. You need to make sure that you leave it below the hole here if at all possible. This green gets scary fast.
It's just a tad offline, that one. Headed towards the left. That got a little out of control, I think. Why don't we catch up with Will Zalatoris?
Okay, he's behind in this rivalry. Let's see what he can produce. Straight at it.
Oh, that's incredible. And for birdie too.
And look out, guys. This rivalry looks like it's going to get pretty interesting today as he's making up some ground on his playing partner.
Wow, that almost went in the hole. Putting for a par now. Henny, you've had the chance to have a look over this one?
We're 15 feet out. He's been staring this one down.
Watch this one break. Job done. Let's head to the next. Trailing by a couple of strokes now. On the 14th, another par 4, Rich, where, again, premium is on accuracy.
Lay it back short of that fairway bunker with 3-wood or take it on with driver. If you take it on with driver, the second shot becomes much easier, and now a birdie opportunity really presents itself. Laying back with a 3-wood, find the center of the green, 2-putt, and get out of here.
Come on, that finish line's in sight. Let's power towards it. That's a bit out of shape. Time for the second shot at the 14th. Going with the 9-iron, I think. Trying to get to 1 under here with this putt. And he's down there. You got a read?
You know, I've been prowling around. It's definitely uphill and moving to the right-hand side.
This one's come off the blade pretty nicely. That's a nice putt. He'll take that. And down it goes. Some lovely momentum for this player, moving up the leaderboard. Well, you want to win a US Open, a major title, you've got to go stripe it all the way home. And it starts here at the par 315th.
Visually, probably the most challenging shot players will see all week long. There's just a wall of grass, and none of it is flat right in front of you. You don't see the flat portion of the green necessarily. You just see the runoff areas, and usually your golf ball is in one of those. This is so difficult from a visual perspective.
Ouch, that hurts. Now let's switch our attention to Will Zalatoris.
Yeah, coming off the back of a bogey on the last hole. Starts off looking good.
This is going right at the hole. Yes, sir! Looks like a pretty straightforward 5-footer to me.
This one is for par.
And the putt drops. Now even par, heading down the stretch.
Oh, it's time to dig in and give it your all coming down the final few.
Welcome to the par 4 16th hole.
That is right down the sprinkler line.
He's setting up for his second shot. He's 2 shots back.
Clubbing up, smart. Got to control it though. Let's see.
And he's safely on the green with that shot. John, have you got a read on this one?
Well, it looks like this one's going left to right.
Let's come off the blade beautifully. So close. Just a tiny putt is all that remains. He's in a share of 5th position. When you stand on the 17th tee at Pinehurst number 2, it's hard not to think of all the history that's happened here. You think of '99 with Payne Stewart and Phil Mickelson. What's your thoughts?
People talk about Payne Stewart's winning putt on the 18th hole back in 1999, but the swing that he made on 17 that year is the one that every player should envision when they stand on this tee box. It was beautiful. It was artwork. It was poetry in motion. It's how you should swing the golf club. This is the only image in my mind when I play this beautiful par 3.
Why don't we catch up with Will Zalatoris?
Who'd have thought we'd see this? He is behind his rival. Can he do the catching up that's necessary?
Ooh, nice stroke. Will it get there? Oh, that's a great looking putt. And back to the course with the live action. And he needs this to save par.
Short game has been absolutely fantastic today.
And in she goes. That's a good save.
And that's an exceptional up and down from the greenside bunker.
Just one off the lead after that hole. The closing hole at Pinehurst number 2 works its way back up the hill to that famous clubhouse.
Blind tee shot here for these players. That's the difficulty here. Just pick a spot in the distance and give her a whirl. Second shot up the hill slightly, but do not miss it too far right or you'll find a low area for your second. Anything missing up to the left-hand side could kick back onto the green, and dare I say, finish with a birdie.
Going with the pitching wedge here. That was a bit of a miscue. Let's see if we can get this one up and down for par. Didn't that look good for a long time? And he needs this to save par. Well, this player will now wait nervously in the clubhouse for the rest of the field to finish. Currently tied for first.
Yeah, still lots of players out there, Luke, that could change the outcome of this tournament. We're just going to have to wait and see.
No win for this player out there this week, Henny, but they did manage to beat Will Zalatoris. So that's got to be a big boost of confidence.
Huge, Luke. They challenged the young gun, Will Zalatoris, and beat him. I think they'll be very pleased with that, and will be using that confidence you mentioned to propel them forward in the next event.
On behalf of Rich Beam, Henny Kuyak, John McCarthy, I'm Luke Elvey saying so long from 2K Sports.